Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharaka Kwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching His word in all sincerity and in truth. And I was watching this video, Wealth Inequality, the Quiet Apocalypse, and pretty much this dude was breaking down, how this kingdom is set up and designed to redistribute wealth away from the majority and put it into the hands of the few. And it's designed that way. It's fixed. All right. An extremely wicked and oppressive kingdom. All right. And that's why you're seeing all the problems that you see. And what's interesting about this is this at this moment in time doesn't just affect the heathen, or it doesn't just affect Jake, because Jake has always in this kingdom dwelt in the lower classes. All right, Jake hasn't really enjoyed being middle class or upper middle class. The vast majority of Israelites have never seen middle class life. All right, it's always working class and below. All right, and that's the curses. But these Edomites, a large portion of them did get to enjoy being middle class at least. And now they're being destroyed. They're being consumed because their elites are so greedy, all right, and so wicked that now they're beginning to consume their own people. you know, and that's basically what this guy is going into. Okay, the elites, the top 1%, are now turning the screws on the middle class, which is predominantly the so-called white man. All right. So, for example, you got here so-called Black Americans, 41% in lower income households, far fewer in upper income tiers. So-called Hispanics, 40% in lower income tier. So-called white people, only 24% in lower income tier, and they're overrepresented in upper tiers. All right. It says, in other words, so-called Black and Hispanic adults were significantly more likely to be in the lower tier, while white and Asian adults were more likely concentrated in the middle and upper tiers. So that brings the point that I'm saying. But now, what you're having is the middle class and the upper middle class is being consumed by the elites. All right. That's what you see happening. And that's why you see more and more Edomites that are upset and they're trying to make America great again, because their world is being consumed and destroyed, but it's by design. Now, they, the way the media portrays it, they want to blame everything that's happening to them on others. So it's a so-called Black man's fault, so-called Hispanic man's fault, it's the immigrants' fault. When really what it is your own people. You're being robbed and you're now being oppressed by your own people because of their greed. And that's because you're not the righteous. See, if you Edomites were the righteous, at very least, your elites would take care of you. But your elites used you, and now they have no use for you. They're jettisoning you. They're consuming you. Your own elites. Your own elites consider you to be useless eaters. They don't want to share with the rest of their brothers. Yeah, because they're not righteous anyway. And if they don't want to share with their own people, then you should already know they damn sure don't want to share with us. And that's the reality, right? Proverbs 29:2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And even their own people are mourning. Even Edomites are mourning now because they're being caught up in this wicked system. And like I said, this guy goes through it. And the funny thing is, at the end of this video, his solution is universal basic income. So he's an idiot. And then one thing you need to realize about these Edomites, they're very low IQ. There's the thing about Edomites here, they overstate their own intelligence, and that makes them dangerous. They're really stupid people. All right. And that's why, if you really break it down, one of the main people that has been lied to successfully is their own people. Their own people really buy into the left right paradigm more than anyone else. They've been manipulated more than anyone else, really. These Edomites have absolutely been under a spell, so they're not that high IQ. Like, come on, lad. They're dumbed down animals, and their elites know it. Easily manipulated, emotional creatures, and all they got to do is point the finger at Jake, and yeah, it's their fault. You know, it's China's fault. Yeah, you guys are idiots. But this devil, you know, their appetite is insatiable. So it wasn't gonna be long till they started to devour even their own self. You know, and that's just how it is. That's the devil for you. All right. They don't believe in being their brother's keeper. These elite Edomites don't give a damn about the rest of Esau. No, they clearly don't. All right. This is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. All right. That's beginning with their elites. They want it all and they don't want to share, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. All right. They're not satisfied with just consuming the other nations, right? They want to consume even their own nation, right? But gathereth unto him all people and heapeth unto him, gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. That includes their own. That includes their own. So these, you know, if you look all over social media and over the internet, there's a lot of Edomites complaining. Why? Because the system is now working against them. There was a time when the system was absolutely in their favor, you know, and they able to amass themselves a certain amount of wealth in comparison to Jake. Now that wealth is being taken away. Now the middle class is being eroded, right? I just asked ChatGPT, is there an erosion of the middle class? It says, yes, there has been an erosion of the middle class in the United States over the past several decades. This is well documented trend backed by data from Pew Research Center, the U.S. Census Bureau, and numerous economists, right? The middle class, which is mainly so-called white people, they've been getting destroyed, but by who? See, they want to blame Jake, and that's that hatred. They want to blame Jake, they want to blame the other nations. But when you really break it down, the reason why the so-called white man's middle class is being destroyed is because of other so-called white people. Your own leaders, your own elites are doing it to you by design. And then they're turning around and giving you these puppet leaders like Trump, and then Trump's going to turn around and try to blame it on China or blame it on immigrants. And it's the same thing over here in the UK. These Edomites want to believe that asylum seekers is the reason why the country is the way it is. Like, no, it's the reason the country is the way it is because of your elites, and these elites they're neither left or right. They use the left and the right, but ultimately they're neither left or right. Because whether the left or the right is in power, the same thing is going to happen. Wealth will be redistributed disproportionately to the elites. They will get richer and everyone else will get poorer in comparison. And it's happening even more rapid now, ever since the C9 you know what. Ever since the C9 you know what, the wealth gap has been accelerating, but it's by design. All right. But what's going to happen is that these Edomites are going to get more and more angry. They're going to get more and more disgruntled. And that hatred, the blame is going to fall on who? On Jake. Right? And you already see that happening. Right? You go on the internet and anything that has to do with Jake or the other nations or immigrants, it could be the most benign thing. You're going to see bare Edomites in the comment board just blaming Jake and the other nations for everything that's going wrong in their life. They have to find somebody to blame, and they don't want to look at the man in the mirror. So they gon' aim their hatred and their discontent at who? The foreigner, right? At Jake. And that's gonna the worse things get, the more that's gonna happen. And that's gonna lead to race riots and things of this nature. Because this Esau is a demon. Right? A lot of the children of these middle class people, it's not going well for them. They're not living the lives that their parents lived. They're not, right? A lot of these people, they're not living the lives that their parents did. They got crazy debt. It's just messed up. All right, this is Second Esdras 15. Things are gonna get more and more tight, man, and the more stress these Edomites get under, the more they're gonna lash out, man. And Jake gonna face the brunt of it. All right. Second Esdras 15 and 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." Yeah, there's going to be a lack of bread and great tribulation, man. And that's already started. People are finding it harder and harder to live, to meet the cost of living. And what's that going to breed? Discontent, hatred, anger. And that anger going to have to go somewhere. Now, some of it's going to be aimed at the government, and then some of it's going to be aimed at who? You, Jake. You're the problem. Oh, listen, if you don't believe me, just go on social media, man. Let me show you something. Like, you just go, you had this video that got posted, Sierra Leone people like linked up at Southend Beach, and had a party. And you go in the comment board and it's just nothing but Edomites just chatting shit. Get them out of here, blah, blah, blah. These devils are hurt. And this is all because the majority of these Edomites in the UK are down bad, especially up north. And so they want to take it out on someone. So when they see Jake having a party or something, they're just angry. And they've been told that the source of all their problems is immigration. Immigration is the reason why they're becoming poorer. It's crazy, right? That's what they've been told. All right. And so this discontent and this anger towards people that don't look like them is growing and growing and growing. And the more they struggle to find housing and struggle to pay their bills and struggle to do this, struggle to do that, all that anger and that disgruntlement is going to go somewhere. And the same thing's happening in France, same thing's happening everywhere because it's a worldwide thing. Right? These Edomites, they call it black fatigue and all this crap. They're trying to blame, they're making it look like if the so-called African American wasn't in America, everything would just be fine and dandy. Everybody would be rich beyond their dreams and living the American dream. The reason why they can't achieve the American dream no more is because of immigrants and the so-called black man. That's crazy. No, the reason you can't achieve the American illusion, right, is because your own elites don't want you to achieve it. They only want it for themselves, and they're stealing your ability to get it. But it is what it is. We know what it's going to be. So that's why you got to keep your head on a swivel and understand that these Edomites are only growing in anger and hatred, and that's to fulfill prophecy. Because they're going to turn on Jake something real nasty. The more they lose, the more they're going to lose it. So if that, I'm going to say shalom.